Hi, and welcome to the 50 Years of Fantasy podcast. We're here with our guest, DJ, David Johnson. He is a accomplished video game visual effects artist and on the board of trustees for GAP, which is the charity arm of the Page 2 convention. And he's on the organization committee and a volunteer. And you made the design for the con.
Yeah, that's right. I designed the logo for Page.
You designed the logo for the con.
Yep.
Amazing. So, as like on the board of trustees for GAP, so tell us what GAP is.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. And pleasure to be here. Good to meet you, Katie. We've interacted a little bit online, but this is my first time sort of meeting you and hanging out. So it's a pleasure. GAP stands for the Gamer Assistance Program. The auction at Page every year. Well, this is our second year now. All of the proceeds beyond the basic costs of it go into GAP, which is a fund that then is distributed to veterans of the gaming industry, often designers, writers, artists who earlier in their career maybe they didn't make a lot of money. They were in this RPG thing for the love of it, really, and some of them went on to do well. Not all of them, though. So those who are having struggles late in life, GAP is here to donate money to help these individuals, whether it's medical expenses, a new roof, car payments, whatever. So I'm on the board of trustees of GAP, and it's sort of the charity. Page is a 501c charity organization, and this is just the direct charity where people can donate to it. If you go to the Page website, there are donation links there, and yeah, it's an honor to be a part of it.
Awesome. So, how would somebody, if they are like I guess historic gamer, I don't know at what age group or what criteria, how does if someone needs that kind of assistance, how do they get it?
Yeah, it's the criteria is loose. It's intended to, I'd have to look it up to get the exact language, but it's intended to be people who are involved in the gaming RPG industry. It's not exclusive to that necessarily. It could be just, it could be prominent players or whatever. But yeah, its main intent is to be like people who contributed to this hobby that we care about and love and enjoy to this day, 50 years later. And yeah, that in order, I think on the web, let me actually just bring it up. If we go to, I think there's links to it on. So in order to register to attend Page, to come to the conference, the whole thing is organized on tabletop events, and there is a link under one of these things. Sorry, I should have I had this up and ready to go before we talk. There under more, you will see Gamer Assistance Program Charitable Initiative. And it kind of breaks down where it is. But if anyone has someone in mind to be a recipient of it, they can contact anyone, myself included. Ron Meisker is sort of the and Phil Wirt and Pete Flagg are both gentlemen that are involved in this as well. Any of us can be contacted, and then we can help put your name into the hat for the committee to vote on.
Okay, awesome. I love a charity element, but I always people like know charities exist, but then they don't always know how to be the recipient of the charity. So I like to try to inform how they can do that. And then also your other roles are organization committee.
Yeah, I'm on the Page organization committee too. I think that's the name of it. Where we meet we meet kind of monthly to talk about there's a lot involved in putting on a convention, right? There's everything from the logistics of the convention center, and there are a few people I would name sort of Ron Meisker as sort of the main heavy lifter of the whole thing. He is the person that sort of founded and began the organization of this. But from the logistics of the venue itself, the costs involved, and setting up, the tabletop events website, to planning sort of the layout of where the tables are, which DMs go to what tables at what time, who's at the stage getting, we have a lot of awesome special guests in, anywhere from, Frank Mentzer, Jeff D, a lot of the like old time uh, guys who really originated this game, David Zeb Cook, are all special guests, to some of the newer folks, some of the streamers, Professor DM, Baron DeRoth, Bob World Builder. So somebody's got to contact all those people and invite them and organize, hotel rooms and logistics when appropriate. There's a certain budget for that, which we have well run out of. But there's an amazing like roster of amazing humans that are going to be here. I'm excited to play in games with people who I've admired for a while. I got to play with Frank Mentzer last time. That was just a dream come true. My first D&D experience was with his Redbox set when I was, 9 years old or something. So like what a full circle honor to get to sit at a table and have him throw at us. Like that was just a blast.
Oh, that's amazing. But you get to kind of be that person too for the 50 Years of Fantasy crew. Like you w- became that contact person for them. So, like, you guys met and you invited them so graciously into your home to show them D&D and took them to an improv show and things like that. So, like, that must be a big part of who you are. Like, you love connecting people with this thing you love.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's I don't know how to even describe it. It's like more than a passion. It's more than a hobby, right? It's like, I don't know, it's a lifestyle. I don't that sounds cheesy, but like I just love it so much, and so many people do. And I think like a lot of people, I took a long hiatus too, about 20 years where I didn't play. I played a lot as a kid and through high school. And then we kicked it in again when Stranger Things happened. So my buddies, I used to have Stranger Things parties at the house. We'd watch it, and when season 2 was about to hit, one of them just randomly was like, "Hey, we should play D&D to get ready for the next season." And I'm like, "Yes, we should." I bought not one of them had ever played before too. I was the only one, so I ran them through an adventure, and that just really sparked my love again. But yeah, I got in touch with Chris and with Blake, and they just put a call to like who's got old stuff, and I've been collecting for a while, and I've built a pretty killer D&D room here at the house. So I just sent them a picture of my room. They're like, "We'll be right there." So I got to run Chris's first D&D game with him. I got involved in improv a little while ago, and just unbeknownst to me, they had a show called WizProv, which is a D&D improv thing. And on my first day in class, some of them took me aside, like, yeah, our first exercise in class was just go to the front of the stage and for about 2 minutes, just rant about something that you care about, that you love. So I went up, and the first words out of my mouth were, "Dungeons and Dragons is the greatest game ever." And they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta, you're in the cast now," which is maybe premature because I'd only ever take that one, that one like first level class. But I don't know. I've been doing it for a little while now, and it's a blast. So we had Chris and the crew and Justin and everybody come watch the show and film it, and then we ran one of my ridiculous sort of comedy games for the guys. That was a blast.
Yeah, and you should you like hooked them up with other people. Like they're like, "Oh, I want to talk to this person," and you were like, "Oh, I kind of know them," or "No, it's someone adjacent." You are their Kevin Bacon. Everyone is one to in front of each other.
Seven layers of DJ. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Brom is another sort of prominent D&D figure from the early days. He lives here in Savannah, and I just very coincidentally met he and his lovely wife Lori last year when they moved here from Seattle, and we've been hanging out, and they came to our house at Thanksgiving. So I put them in touch, and they got to interview Brom here at my house. That was pretty rad.
That is rad. That's another full circle moment for you. Like, oh my gosh, here's this. Like, I've looked at your art. It's in my mind, and here you are in my house.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to be kind of fanboying out over someone, and also like, oh, now we're kind of buddies. All right, now we're hanging out at the bar or whatever. I know, that's pretty cool.
That is cool. Have you found that with most of your D&D related people that you've met, you kind of just friendships instantly? Do you find that happens?
Yes, this is not a unique incident. I could give you several stories. There was another one I am still friends, very close with to this day, and we stay in touch almost every day. Um, a fellow named Shannon Housey. He's out of uh, I'm gonna fuck up the state, Tennessee. I'm sorry. Is cussing okay? I have a
Yes,
horrible. Okay, good. Yeah, like maybe a couple of years ago now, I saw a message in one of those, D&D Facebook groups that Shannon was dying of brain cancer, and he wanted to get as many games of D&D in as he could before he died. So I put a picture up of my D&D room in the thread, and he said, "I'll be right there." And yeah, him and his buddy booked a trip down here. I wrote my first like D&D adventure for Shannon. It's sort of dedicated to him, a little Dragonlance one shot. And he's defied the odds. His prognosis was much shorter than from that day till today. He's still with us.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's having a hard time. But some friendships are coming out. There's other stories too. Yeah, I'm having a guy that I met last year at Page, Ronan. We're gonna meet up again at this one, and then he's flying to my house afterwards to do a historical game called the Siege of Bodenberg, which is kind of a here's my D&D history like nut, and Ronan is too. He's an actor out of Vancouver who's been in some shows that you might recognize. So the Siege of Bodenberg is sort of a precursor of the precursor. So Chainmail was the minis tabletop game, battle game that sort of preceded Dungeons and Dragons. And the Siege of Bodenberg is the game that kind of inspired Gary Gygax and Jeff Perrin to write Chainmail. So it's kind of like the precursor to the precursor. D&D may not have existed had Gary Gygax not played in this game. It was a medieval like battle game. And my wife a few years ago bought me the castle from the 70s that they used in that game. Not the exact one, but the same exact one. Yeah. So I built a whole 6x6 foot table and got all the minis ready. So yeah, in a couple of weeks, we're going to live stream that. That should be a lot of fun.
Oh, that will be really fun. What's your live stream channel so people can follow you and see it when it happens?
Yeah, so I've got two. There's a Twitch channel. Let me like look it up so I don't give the wrong name. There may or may not be an underscore depending on which one. So they're both Undertone DJ. Let me make sure. Okay, so Twitch is just. I will type that in the chat.
Your video messed up a little on my side. Chris, did it mess up on yours? Because otherwise I'll have you repeat it. Host.
No, it's fine. And when it uploads, it'll any of the glitches that you had because of latency issues will go away when I clip them together.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
The children also let out all the dogs, and they're right.
I heard.
I wasn't sure if those were your dogs or my dogs. I guess they're you.
Yep. Stefan just confirmed for Thursday.
Hooray.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. So, DJ, if you want to help out with this, I don't know if I talked to Katie about it earlier. If you wanted to jump on sometimes when we do these, you're more than welcome to help out because you have obviously some of the historical expertise that can be really helpful. It's also very helpful for me because I like being immersed in it while I'm doing this. I'm watching. There's so many. I'm surrounding myself in so many things. Like I'm at my spare time when I go downstairs, I'm reading all through Shadow Dark and like I
Right.
can't wait to get these the set pieces that we ordered.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Right on.
Anyway, yeah. Did you want to continue? Because I can clip this back in.
Continue. I just he messed up and I wanted to look good, and so I was just concerned.
All right, we good? All right, I'll move.
I know exactly where I'm picking that up. I'm not professional.
See,
All right, so your game you're going to play has a lot of minis, and I've seen pictures of your room. Tell me about all of your accessories and collection and your D&D room.
oh man. Well, maybe I should share screen and show some of the stuff in order to talk about it. Let me bring it up. Let me make sure I don't have any confidential work stuff up before I do that. Give me a moment. Yeah, so here is, I'm gonna bring up the first one. So there is my D&D room at the house. Yeah, there's a lot going on in there. My intent was for this to be really just my love letter to Dungeons and Dragons. There are very few things that are not Dungeons and Dragons games. Like you will see Car Wars here in the corner. That is about it. But I've been collecting minis and books for a while. I've got all editions going back from Chainmail, the 3 different lines of basic, the Holmes, Cook Mulvey, and then Mentzer basic. There's first, second edition, third, fourth. I pretty much have every 5th edition book. And then everything else on this wall is mostly basic first and second edition modules and accessories. They are grouped by letter codes. This first shelf is the first series of modules that came out. So we're currently playing through the GDQ series. So there's G1, Studying the Hill Giant Chief, which I just had Luke Gygax on my channel, interviewed him about that. That was a lot of fun. And then they're just kind of by letter code. I even printed out little 1-inch thumbnails of all the covers because I try to have as much stuff like cover facing as possible. So the at least player's handbook and dungeon master's guide for each of the editions is kind of forwarded out. And then, there's so many modules. There's like 1,000 modules from the 1E, 2E era. So I've got little thumbnails so you can kind of see what's like hidden away behind them. And then the minis on the left, I even 3D printed in 2-color little name badges for every single monster type that's there. The table's really cool. I built it myself. That was my COVID hobby. I learned how to woodwork because I saw a video of a dynamic battle map with like a ship and the waves are going by and little birds flying overhead. I just thought that was so cool that I needed to have. So using YouTube, I bought some tools and taught myself how to woodwork. So I made the table. It's got I make video games for a living, so I 3D modeled it in 3D Studio Max first to just kind of like design and lay it out. And then I built it in foam core first to just kind of test out the size and like kind of sit at it, make sure the height was good. The height between the lower and the upper shelf is meant so people can like put their books and stuff below, and then the top of the table stays clear. But its height is specific to a whiskey snifter plus coaster. It's just perfectly right under there, expertly measured. And you can see I've got a laptop. So a lot of people use Roll20 to play online remotely with their friends, which I do from time to time here at this workstation. But I also use it for live games. So I've got the player view up on the TV and then the DM view on the laptop, and I can do like revealing stuff. So it's kind of fun to have their minis just running around on like the actual like map artwork. So that's a lot of fun. I've got a soundboard and a mic here to do voice filtering, so I can do like gnome voices and demon voices and echo and reverb and all that. And then this is an older picture, so there's about 3 times the amount of character sheets on the ceiling as you see here. I think there's north of 40 up there now, and those are dead player characters. Anytime someone, I don't think you can see it here anymore, but anytime a character dies in the room, the dreaded words are, "Hand me your character sheet, please." And I take it from them and I have a deceased stamp and I just slam it down right in front of them and then staple their character sheet to the ceiling just to like bring it home.
home.
Oh, and then I hit I hit taps on the sound board. So you get the the trumpet call. Yeah, pretty fun. But it's really a joy to play in this space. All my Saturday games are here in person. It's made it really easy to get consistent players too. Just whenever a call to act, like with Chris and you guys and my friend Shannon. Anytime I post a picture of this, people are, they want, yeah, they will. It's nice to play in a cool space. So yeah, it's been great.
Yes, it's very, very cool. So do you prefer minis and interactive boards? What's your experience with playing with nothing, just dice and a story?
Yeah, that when we first started playing again after that Stranger Things, I didn't have any minis or anything really. It was just character sheets and books and imagination. That way is, they're both magical, wonderful ways to do it. You don't need any of this, right? You need an index card, a pencil, and a player's handbook and Dungeon Master Guide from pick your edition, right? Any of them really, and you're off to the races. You can make magic with your friends with just that. But then to have these things,
Yeah.
it's pretty rad too. Like if you have props, and I've started creating my own terrain lately too. And I love gimmicks. Like all the soundboard stuff is really fun. You don't need any of that, but when people are sitting in the room, a new player, and I hit the gnome voice thing, like they freak out. They love it. It's great. It adds, it's just a layer that you're adding in. And my background is video games, right? Video game effects. So my brain thinks about the games in those terms of like how to make the presentation of this thing as over the top and visceral as possible. So yeah, I've got tons of stupid little gimmicks. I've started um painting live on the terrain. When one of the players kills a monster, I reach behind me and pull out a paintbrush with red paint and like I will paint the blood splatter on the wall that I just described. I have started mutilating my minis. I've got a little PVC pipe cutter, and if I describe the orc's head getting cut off, I will take an orc mini. I just did that with a green dragon like 2 weeks ago, and the room was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
That's like $100 mini. But the good news is there is super glue, and I have a Dremel and little rods, so I have reattached his head to be cut off again in the future. It's great, and it's just kind of shocking, right? It is not expected. Like I am not precious about things and stuff. I love all these books. They are designed to be held and turned and read and loved. My minis too. And when we're little kids, you you build your little Lego castle. Well, that's part of the fun, but then smashing them together and blowing them up is the other half of the fun, right? And we kind of stopped doing that. I can buy, more orc minis, so to chop one of their heads off, and really, I can glue them back together. That's a perfect fit. And it's shocking. Players are always that's one that gets them every time. Nobody like expects you. I mean, my players do now because I've been doing it for months and months. But yeah, it's I fucking love it.
Yeah. That's awesome. But it just gives a new experience to the whole thing. Like it's like no one's gonna go to a game and expect that. And it's like do you meet a lot of first time players that come and like want to experience the room? Is that what gets them into the game, or do you play mostly with more senior players?
Let's see. I would say I play with more new players than not. Um, we're playing in so my live Saturday game right now is a first edition game, which is that's from the late 70s, early 80s. And no very few people today, especially that are younger or newer players, they don't know the rules and they're not going to read those books, right?
Hmm.
But you can make it unintimidating by and just if someone, we've got a local Savannah like Dungeons and Dragons Facebook group, and there are regular people, starting a game asking for players and new players that move to town that are looking for a game. So, I just post a picture of this and they come, and then, I just have them come an hour or two early, walk them through making a character in this edition that they don't know. Um, but yeah, but I would say maybe a quarter of my players have played before. So I sort of cater to new players quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they come and experience this wow, and then hopefully they're like, I have to keep playing this game. Like this is they're chasing your high. Like they're like I went to DJs and it was so amazing and visceral and emotional and everything. And they're like, how can I create that for someone else or in my own life or with other players? Do you think you kind of are planting the D&D love?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I hope people who play with me, this turns into a love for them like it is a love for me. Um, I hope though I'm not like ultra spoiling them though, because this is pretty like and here's another flavor of that too. I do one shots pretty regularly, which as a kid that didn't exist really. Like I didn't know of that as a thing. But when you go to a convention, like I never went to conventions when I was younger. I didn't have the, finance or know how to do that. But conventions are pretty much one shots. But at home, you're playing through a campaign. You're doing it once a week and your characters are progressing over time. That's part of the fun, right? Is their advancement and growth. But now one shots are like are pretty rare. Like I'll do a Halloween, Curse of Randy Macho Man Strahd one shot on Halloween, and I've been running this Dragonlance one shot that I wrote for Shannon a few times now. And it's fun because like one of the design differences I think between those two forms of play, like long form campaigns versus one shots, is one shots are really suited for like high octane D&D, right? You
Mhm.
just fucking turn it up to 11, right? Like chopping dragon's head off. And I won't give you all this in case people want to see my games or come
Yes.
playing with me at conventions. I put a lot of like twists and surprises and stupid minis, and like I just throw the fucking like the kitchen sink at you of like stupid gimmicks and voice things and sound effects and everything. And that's not really as possible with like long-term campaigns. Like, you have to have a story arc and encounters. But one shots you can really just turn up to 11 and make like intense, memorable experiences. I love doing that.
That's so awesome. And we're gonna show you a clip of one of your one shots at D&D in a Castle, and we're gonna put it on our Patreon so that people can come and see it. One, just a clip that could be in the movie, and two, your cool outfits. And we can talk about that. Does that sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So thank you everybody for joining us on this free part of our episode, but we'll have more with DJ in our Patreon exclusive where we show a clip and we talk about D&D in a cast.